and welcome to Sports Gazette TV. I'm Megan Dimmock-Morgan.
And I'm Rob Claydon. Today's programme is a special feature, Time Trial, the history of the St Mary's running track.
We take a journey through the past, the present and the future of this university landmark.
Coming up, so Mo Farah tells us how training at St Mary's has helped shape his stellar career.
We'll be hearing from St Mary's endurance coach Craig Winrow, who sheds light on the historical success synonymous with the Sir Mo Farah track.
And finally, we catch up with 5,000 metre runner Ben Bradley to discuss his exciting future.
The St Mary's athletic track has a rich history, and despite it initially being laid upside down when first constructed, it provides a wonderful foundation for the elite athletes.
We head over to our reporter, Darren Barnard, who talks to Endurance, Performance and Coaching Centre Coordinator Craig Winrow, who gives us the lowdown on Mo Farah's relationship with the university track.
So we're here with Craig Winrow, who is the head of coaching and the EPAC coordinator here at St Mary's University. So how long have you been with St Mary's?
So I started here in January 2007, so 12 years now.
Great, and how long has the track, the beautiful track behind us here, been?
So track I think was done around 2001, 2002, and then the centre was set up around that time as well. The original bit of the centre was only about 3 athletes that were here, one of them being Mo, and then it's just grown through the years to we're over 120 athletes now that are based around this area and training out at the centre.
How significant is Mo Farah's involvement with the university and with the track?
Yeah, so for about 8 years before he moved to the States, he was living around this area. He was developing as a young athlete. He lived in the London Marathon house that we have on campus as well. So he did that before he went to America, and obviously he's now kind of back living around the area again now. So when he's not on training camps, we still see him quite often.
Yeah, try to put him in as much as you can, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So you must, you said to me before, this is kind of the real hub of the university, this track. You must really feel that.
Yeah, I just think it's an integral part of the campus. When people come to visit, whether you're an athlete or not, just having the track in the middle of campus, it kind of it's a good vibe.
Yeah, and that obviously must play a massive pulling factor, making students from not only England but all over the world kind of come and join your program. Yeah,
it's getting quite renowned now, even because obviously we're constantly kind of battling with American universities trying to recruit our athletes after they do their undergrads. So we're kind of well known out in the States for producing good athletes. So it's a big part of it, and the reason why people are coming is the program has grown through the years, and obviously we keep having a lot of success, whether it's student sport or whether it's on the international stage.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned Mo, but more recently, what other athletes we have work here?
Gosh, I could name loads of internationals that have benefited from the centre. If we go back to like 2012, we had Andrew Asagi, Ross Murray. We actually had, I think, out of the centre about 11 people competing at London, and then we had 10 I think compete in Beijing in 2016.
That's an amazing achievement. I mean, obviously you mentioned London there as well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of, I think South Africa were based here during the Olympics. How was that? That must have been amazing.
It's just great to have all of them. I think the Chinese were here as well. South Africans I think were here as well. So it's really good. We get quite a lot of top athletes from around the world coming and base themselves here, especially during the summer. So a lot of the Melbourne track club come here, the Oregon OTC from Oregon, they come here. A lot of the Kenyans base themselves around this area, because it's not just about obviously the track and the campus, it's about the area, and obviously it's great for running in the area because we've got the road parks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm heavily involved in park runs myself, so that's a massive part of bringing people in and getting involved with athletics and all forms of exercise. I mean, the track itself is obviously, well, behind us here, beautiful as well. I mean, it came with a bit of jeopardy about it kind of staying here, and how important is it for you to make sure that the track remains here at St Mary's University?
I hope it does, just because, like I said, I think it's an integral part of the campus, and it does attract people here when they come and on a recruitment day and have a look around. So I would hopefully we keep the track here. If it did go anywhere else local. It is what it is. We will deal with it, and we will carry on working with the centre.
Perfect. So Craig Winrow there, he's obviously a massive advocate of the track here. So thank you.
Fascinating to hear about St Mary's cohort of successful EPAC athletes from Craig there, Rob.
Yeah, well, Mo Farah, he trained here from 2001 to 2011, and who could forget his stunning performances at London 2012, winning the 5,000 and 10,000 metres on home soil.
Yes, Team G won 6 golds that day, including Jessica Ennis-Hill and Greg Rutherford.
Absolutely, and we heard from Craig there about Andrew Sarchi and several of the up-and-coming young athletes inspired by Mo's involvement. Now let's hear from Mo, who couldn't resist visiting his old stomping ground on a recent trip to St Mary's.
St Mary's is just St Mary's, I guess. It's, you know, it's London, it's home, it's where I grew up. This is where it all started, and this is it. It's great to be able to have the support of St Mary's and the staff to be able to recognise that and name the track after me. It's pretty amazing. It's something that means a lot to me, as this is where it all started and this is home for me. And just run around this track and just enjoying it, really, not thinking about life, and just, you know, just being part of the university and you know, getting involved in every. Obviously this is home for me, but at the same time one of the reasons why I moved to America is to be able to improve in my career and to, you know, to be coach out there and to take the advantages of the facilities which I have and has worked for me. What I miss mostly is just being able to, you know, just run around track, go back and then go to the, you know, the canteen and just easy life. No, it was good to have the college, and, you know, in terms of academically I wasn't, you know, didn't have the education to go straight away to be able to, you know, do a degree. So I went to the college, they supported me through that, and then came back here and finally I can start a degree. But I was one of the few athletes that had that scholarship and to be able to recognise as my talent, and if it wasn't for the scholarship and the recognition of, you know, St Mary's, and yeah, I don't know if I ever gone as far as I have in my career.
Clearly some fond memories there for Mo, coming back to the place where it all started for him.
Yeah, it's great to see the support structure in place for St Mary's most talented athletes, and we're now seeing a huge crop of talented youngsters launching their careers here.
Well, with a look to the current group of athletes making a name for themselves at the university, we can join our reporter, Michael Jordan, who can shed some light on St Mary's top prospects. It's looking a bit gloomy out there, but hopefully Michael can stay dry. Michael, who are some of the younger athletes we should keep an eye out for in the future?
Yes, Megan, great to hear from Sir Mo Farah there. We are currently stood outside the Sir Mo Farah track, which was rightfully named after him, probably one of the most iconic and decorated track athletes of our generation. Who on this present day is running on this track which could follow in his footsteps? It's a very good question. We've narrowed it down to a few names. Emily Moyes is the first name on our shortlist, the under-23 track athlete from Hampshire. She had a fantastic 2018, setting 3 PBs, including a win at the English Championships in Bedford, probably her most emphatic performance to date. This form has only continued into 2019, where she has a most recent win at the London University Championships at Parliament Hill, and Emily Moyes is 100% one to look out for in the future. Max Wharton is another name on the list, runs at 1500 metres and 800 metres, predominantly 800 metres, and has been excelling tremendously out in America, where he is currently competing in training. The Liverpool man has had 2 victories in his last 3 races, including a first place finish at the Stanford Invitational just last week.
Michael, in your opinion, what do you think makes the track so special?
Well, you only really have to look behind me to answer that question. This track, obviously, we know all about its legacy with Sir Mo Farah running and competing on the world stage. Usain Bolt has also been on this track. It's a fantastic facility in an area of like-minded, hungry individuals who really want to perform at the top stage. We actually caught up with Ben Bradley, another EPAC athlete here at St Mary's, to ask him about the legacy of the track. Ben, you've just finished training at the track. What is it you're competing in and training for in the coming months?
So my main discipline is 5,000 metres on the track. So yeah, I'll be training for the track season, racing between May and the end of August. Main event will be the British Champs at the end of August. So hopefully all building towards that, running from fast times in June, July. Yeah, that's the main of the season.
And how great a facility is the track, and was it a great pull for you coming to St Mary's in the first place in order to have these facilities to train and then get ready to compete in?
Yeah, definitely. So I came to St Mary's as a student back in 2013. I knew about the coaches here, so yeah, I came here. The coaches are set up. You know, you live in the halls as a student, literally 200 metres away from the track, so absolutely no excuse not to train. You've got all the gym facilities, and we do a lot of our running in the parks. You've got Bushy Park, Richmond Park, Home Park. They're beautiful places to train. There's not many places around that you've got that bigger space away from the roads, and it's lovely around there. You've got a lot of deer, and a lovely place to train. So, and the track's world class. Can be a little bit windy sometimes, but especially in the summer when it's hot, there's always big groups out here. You always got people to train with, and obviously, it's always good people here. In the summer, you got a lot of professional groups to come down here. A lot of the Australians, Americans, they come down and train here. And they're holding camps for the major competitions. So yeah, it's really good, really good.
And with track sports, it's very common for athletes to compete as individuals. But do you think this track in a university environment provides that area where like-minded individuals can come compete and run alongside each other to push each other on and ultimately become the best they can possibly be?
Yeah, for sure. So like when you live in the halls as a student, or I live locally now in Tennington, just runners around all the time. So whenever your motivation's low, like a bit windy and stuff today, like I finish at the track and there's guys here jumping in with people, you're talking, and then suddenly you go meet up for a run, and you can run with someone, different person every day if you really wanted to. So as much as everyone's competing to beat each other and train individually, like there's a real good team atmosphere, especially in the training groups. Track sessions on the group, you'll get big groups of 15, 20 guys running in a train, all pushing each other on, running a lot faster than you would if you're on your own. So the motivation helps, and the atmosphere, and you enjoy it more, so the sport becomes a lot more, everyone runs better when they're enjoying it. And so the more people you got with you, the easier it gets.
Great to hear from Ben there, a fantastic athlete and one of many here at St Mary's who you should be looking out for in the future. Thanks very much, and back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Michael. Those were some interesting thoughts from Bradley. The legacy of the track certainly doesn't stop with Sir Mo's involvement, however, and St Mary's has produced multiple Olympic athletes who competed in Rio 2016.
Here's a look at the success of several St Mary's alumni at the Games.
Really impressive Olympic resume for St Mary's. Yeah, and outside of the famous double-double from Sir Mo, Andy Vernon's a name that really sticks out for me. Had some great success in the heats of the 10,000 metres at Rio, and like Mo, he's recently made that change from the track to road running.
Yeah, and it's great to see so many other sports as well.
Absolutely. We saw in the boxing, Joshua Buatsi, he won bronze in the light heavyweight division, and he's also had some recent success with a technical knockout victory over Liam Conroy just a few weeks ago.
Well, the future is undoubtedly very bright, not just for Buatsi, but for some of the brilliant young talent at the university. Our reporter, Thomas Kaiser, spoke to Andrew Reed-Smith, the head of Sports St Mary's, about his vision for the current athletes.
St Mary's University in Twickenham produces athletic stars through the Endurance, Performance and Coaching Centre, known as EPAC. But what's the program's vision?
The EPAC is a combined education and obviously athletic programme based on endurance runners. Whether you're the best student runner at a BUCS level, a best national cross-country runner, or whether ultimately it's performing for Great Britain at major championships, or world champs and Olympic Games.
The EPAC has been very successful over the years. So currently, how many students are involved in the program?
On the endurance programme, there are 99 student athletes, so there are 90 undergrads and 9 postgrads, and actually the fact that we're starting to recruit postgrads now, or usually students that have been here as an undergrad and then have gone on to do some postgrad study, that aligns really well with the endurance pathway. As I said, it's a longer pathway, and what that means is their study years lengthening as well supports their development as an athlete. So we're starting to see them go through 3-4 years as an undergrad and then doing a couple of years as a postgrad.
Performance levels differ amongst athletes in the EPAC program, meaning each athlete has their own goal.
The targets will differ a bit, and actually we're very fortunate to have 2 performance coaches who work with all of the student athletes that we have here. But it's the coaches that sit down and they will very sort of bespoke per individual look at the targets for each season, indoors, cross-country, outdoors.
With EPAC athletes having to balance both academics and sports, how and when do they train?
There are group sessions that take place. That's usually a Tuesday morning, a Thursday morning, so you'll see all the athletes out here on the track training at certain times of the year. They will then run in their training groups as well, so St Mary's, we're really fortunate to have such great places to run just down the road at Bushy Park and in Richmond Park as well, so if you go into the parks you'll see the athletes training there. And then they'll go out in smaller groups or perhaps even individually to get the miles in that they need to run each week to develop as an athlete.
Since the inception of the EPAC program in 2001, it is fair to say it has been successful.
If you look at previous championships since 2008-9, St Mary's has regularly had students competing at all the champs for GB teams. So that's at a European level and a world level as well. Clearly we've been fortunate to have 1 or 2 athletes who've been successful, and I guess the most well known being Mo Farah, and the medals that he's won at world level over the last probably nearly a decade or so now.
But British athletes are not the only ones shining through the EPAC program.
If you look at a student who probably won't be competing or wouldn't be competing for GB but has a good chance of competing for Denmark, Anna Moller is a first-year student, and Anna competed in the World Champs at the weekend, the World Champs in cross-country in Aarhus in Denmark, and came 15th in the world. So yeah, there's a very good chance that there will be some either current students or former students who have just left St Mary's who will be competing in Doha.
Let's hope that St Mary's is well represented at the World Championships later this year. Whatever happens, I'm sure those students have a very bright future.
That's all we've got time for today. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Sports Gazette TV.